Ladies and gentlemen, time to have a short tea break. All the knowledge, every knowledge, every aspect of life is covered only by one word, that is called Guru. And so is the case of the pharmaceutical science, healing science. I get to, touch upon a very crucial concept. Most people still think when we talk about enzymes, most people in the industry also, even doctors, they think enzyme means digestion. And enzyme means, possibly some people added now anti-inflammatory enzymes. We are the only two enzymes are basically today known to the pharmaceutical industry. But if you closely observe, like the healing power, the power of healing is totally with the self. You can heal yourself totally. Unless you are you have gone beyond repair in your own body. Because you can absolutely heal yourself totally with your own healing power. Many examples are there, so I will not go into more detail, but the knowledge of healing by self, the mechanism which operates is under one simple mechanism called enzymes. The entire body operates, or I call all the three Shaktis, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all the three Shaktis operate only through enzymes. Whether we talk about any drugs, any kind of biological development, when the life in any form is existing, it's only through enzymes, nothing other. So entire your immune system, whether your defense mechanism or even the corrective action in the body is taken care only through enzymes. So role of enzyme is the major key factor which shall determine now the future course of the healthcare. It has going to have far-reaching impact on the entire way we have been managing the disease management today.
I'm sure there are quite a few questions more, but maybe we could have interactions later on during the evening. Gentlemen, I now request Mr. J.P.M. Singh to come forward for his talk on brand building. Mr. J.P.M. Singh, please.
If you start going through defining a brand in pharma or any branding, if you define, there has been so wide perception, there has been so many definitions of branding that entire 15-20 minutes that has been allotted to me would be go in just defining what brand is. But just to glance through a few definitions of brand. Brand is a product personality, brand is a name recognition or identity that is being given to the product, and many more. As my talks would be more related to marketing and branding, earlier whatever talks we had, that was more towards technical side. As it has been told earlier, I am new in this pharma chip, so it would be more related to marketing part. So when we decide, when we launch a product, what is the first thing what we decide when we launch a product? That is the name of the product. What should be the name of a product when we launch a brand, when we launch a product? The first thing when we should launch a product, we should decide the name. And name should be catchy, appealing, short and related to the molecule that it can register in one's mind. As you know, in pharmaceuticals, our molecules, whatever molecules we have, they are so tongue twisters. It is very difficult for a common man to learn up those names also, those molecules names. Like ceftriaxone. If you ask a common person what the ceftriaxone is, probably he will relate something to the Milky Way, something to the planet, something to the star. It sounds more of that tune. So what I request to the people that when they decide a name of a product, it should be short, related, and definitely so that it can register in one mind. Like one of our brand, same slide please. Like one of our brand, Odicef. What I talk of ceftriaxone, for me, Odicef is more of a generic of ceftriaxone because it's my brand and I'm talking on brand only. It's decide what it tells you about is once a day ceftriaxone. So it should be short and related to a product. And recently you would have seen the film names these times. How the film names have been. It has been like Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Come Fall in Love. Does it sound like a name? It's more of a statement what it has been made that we are going to do this. And even the moral of the story is also been mentioned in the name also, Come Fall in Love. So can we, going off the trend, can we also define a brand name, a product, something like this, such long names? Like one of our product of ours, can we design something like this, Clanoxy, amoxicillin clavulanic acid, a broad spectrum beta-lactam inhibitor? Can we give a brand name something of this sort? Probably answer would be no. All of you would say that no, these kind of brand names won't click in pharma industry. But why no? Marketing strategies has been changing. People have been bored with the monotonous same brand names. Why can't we change something of this sort? So we can also definitely, like, can we go to the next slide? Like Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge was registered in people's mind like DDLJ. People used to register it with DDLJ. Why cannot even we name the same brand Clanoxy, amoxicillin clavulanic acid, CAP, the BSBL? We can. But who would be the first one to take that step? Is it me, you, or some of the multinationals? So we have to decide that can we go off the branding? Recently you would have seen the ads which have been coming on the TV, which has been coming on the radios of close-up. They have been what? A retro branding has come up, a retro marketing has come up. People have started using the jingle of close-up as kya aap close-up karte hain in a KL Sehgal style. That has clicked or not? Aaj Tak has been clicked, Aaj Tak ad what has been coming on the TVs, it has been again a retro branding. So that has clicked, so probably this can also click, but one has to take step. Who would be the first one to do that? Even the Adidas, what does Adidas stand for? It stands for All Day I Dream About Sports. That was a name that was given to Adidas earlier, but now it is being more proudly known as Adidas. So when these things can happen, so definitely a longer brand names can also be accepted.
I also want to put a context of pharma manager definition. The context is a pharma manager across the value chain, whether he comes from a supply chain area, he comes from manufacturing, quality, R&D, marketing, sales. I'm going to talk about a context of pharma manager across the value chain, not from specific function. I'm also going to focus on areas which are not functional, but more from the point of view of a generic competence area rather than looking at a functional area. Can I first slide, please? We must be hearing this word of capacities and competencies. Capacity is the total potential one has, and competency is what we realize as a potential. Competence is 100, and whatever we realize as potential is called as competence. I believe there are 4 major competences which one works on and can become a good manager as well as a pharma manager. Is the capacity to learn, and by far it is a mother capacity. which makes other capacities and competence become real only if you have a capacity to learn. Next. The second capacity is capacity to think. I think it again emerges from learning capability. Thinking emerges from what we learn. The third capacity is capacity to relate. I think this is one of the most talked about and most possibly a concern area in any company of interfunctional, cross-functional relationship. It also has an issue at home. So capacity to relate is another major capacity which makes a manager become an effective manager. The last one is our capacity to act. It's a capacity to act. To me, look like if you talk about a person with a talent, talent is a combination of these four capacities: capacity to learn, capacity to relate, capacity to act, and capacity to think. Next slide, please. Like I said earlier, it is mother of all capacities, and we often talk about learning to learn is all about becoming a good manager. If I have ability to learn faster than others, I actually go beyond others. Next. And what you define as capacity to learn is effective learning through introspection, reflection, and contemplation, and combination of these three areas. Do I introspect? Do I reflect upon what happened in past and what is going to happen in future? And do I contemplate? And during these three words of reflection, introspection, contemplation is where my learning capacity gets enhanced and expanded. Next. I think all of us know that our mind is by nature programmed to think linearly. Thinking literally or thinking in a frame manner is not something that comes naturally to us. And it is this part, which is our ability to think laterally, is not our basic nature, and this comes only through practice. All of us think that thinking comes to us naturally, but the fact is thinking is something which needs to be learned, and this is what I think we don't really focus in any major companies in industry of making people think how to think. Men of genius are admired, men of wealth are envied, men of power are feared, but men of character are trusted. So with the four capacities of thinking, acting, relating, and learning, I'll put another multiplier factor of character. Thank you.
So without much ado, our next speaker will speak on a very interesting subject, the begging bowl, Mr. Enriga.
This provocative approach and provocative title is more coming out of anguish than out of entertainment alone. I will take a route of entertainment, but it really anguishes me to see that this is what we are doing within the pharmaceutical industry today. Yeah, I guess a lot of you have been here for a long time, and since you haven't stepped out, you have not much had chance to hear any music. So I'll begin with some music, which is also part of my provocation to you.
इंटरनेशनल फकीर आए हैं। तुझको रखे राम, तुझको अल्लाह रखे, तुझको रखे राम, तुझको अल्लाह रखे, देदाता के नाम तुझको अल्लाह रखे, तुझको रखे राम, तुझको अल्लाह रखे।
Yeah, since it's very fast and may not register very quickly, I'm repeating it. Yeah.
Doctor, can you at least give me 2 prescriptions per day? Please sir, I'm under a lot of pressure. Can you give me a small share of the prescriptions for my brands?
What have you done to this interesting person that goes out in the field and markets our products? As industry situations kept changing, and we'll cover the industry situation as we go along. Did we convert educated person into a glorified, I don't want to say it, but that's what we seem to have done. Is he responsible for behaving this way? Or are we responsible for empowering him to do this? Yeah, there may be a multitude of companies, competition, so on and so forth. But I do not think any excuse permits us to have this kind of a dialogue. What's worse is the manager of a company reinforces the same point at the end of the call. The product manager of a company reinforces the same point at the end of the call. So the climax of pharmaceutical selling, which happens in the 30 seconds, seems to relegate it to this kind of an approach today. And that's what I said when I said I'll be taking a provocative approach, perhaps coming out of anguish. I'm sure not all is lost. We have gone through clutters, molecular clutters, brand clutters. I'm sure there is a way forward, and we can examine that towards the end of my presentation. Next one.
I have to keep all of you happy. I cannot only prescribe your brand.
So we're talking about a situation now where, next one. We're talking about a situation now where the multiplicity of brands for molecule. Now take a look at the COX-2 scenario. You have celecoxib, broficoxib, valdecoxib, forgetting even nimusolide for that matter. Each of them have 30-40 brands. So what are we doing here? The situation of 150 brands for just managing something as simple as pain. But that's part of the market scenario. And that's what I said when this market scenario became like this. The doctor started defending himself and said, I have to make everybody happy. And let's look at what Anupam Kher is doing here.
Desh ji ki jai ho. Desh ji ki jai. भगवान आपका भला। लो मेरे भाई शांति से बैठो, चाचा शांति से लो।
What the doctors are doing is distributing his potential to everybody, make everybody happy. That's what the dialogue talked about.
For the next half an hour, may I hand you over to Dr. Ajit Singh to moderate the panel discussion.
So just to kick off, since we are entering the IPR era in another 6 months' time, if we are trying to emulate the examples of the global multinational companies, where the blockbuster model of the 90s is coming under tremendous pressure for two reasons. The R&D cost is ballooning and the R&D productivity is declining. In fact, last year in 2003, US FDA approved only 31 new drug molecules, NCEs, new chemical molecules. And reportedly, the R&D cost has gone up to something like $1 billion per NCE. Recently, IBM produced a report on R&D, and they have changed the blockbuster model. They have made an attempt to change the blockbuster model, which is heavily relied on IT. Obviously, IBM's model will rely on IT. Last week, just to share with you, Ernst & Young, one of the top 4 audit and consultancy companies in the world, released their global pharmaceutical report 2004, and I had an opportunity to participate in this release. And what they are proposing is from the concept of research-driven business to business-driven research. And I do not know whether India is ready for business-driven research, but perhaps some of my friends here can throw some light. I would like to kick off by asking Dr. Singh, this blockbuster model, which is $1 billion and maybe 31 molecules in 1 year, when you spend $40 billion US, that's the R&D bill of the global companies. How does it fit the Indian R&D scenario? Dr. Singh.
I always believe that we have to be business-driven research. And that's a model I've always followed. We followed in Ranbaxy and we're following in Lupin. And I totally agree with that. And I think the fact is that as new chemical entity research cost time is going up, there has to be more value on line extensions, life cycle management of non-patented molecules. How do we do that? Either by introducing a value-added product with frequency of reduction, dosing reduction, or an injection going to an oral, or a combination product, or simplification of the therapy. There are a number of models, and I think I made the presentation about the 505(b)(2), the hybrid NDAs. So I believe a lot of cost time in research will be on this business-driven research on value addition line extension, life cycle management of existing molecules.
I think what is at the moment happening, there is a turmoil or a little degree of the confusion in that entire global setup because the technologies which came out extremely fast, the genomics was there, computational chemistry was there, or even the biotechnology, the people had the idea that within a few years' time the things will totally change. And so that's why the flux has taken place in the people, lots of the big companies put a lot of money in it. The same idea that these 30 NCs will come in a year. Mergers took place again with the same concept. So there is a time period where the flux will come down and the actual thing will start coming up. So in this situation, on the Indian scenario, talking about a big buck, it may not be a big buck, we just can't run away from it. We'll have to put some money, we'll have to start with it. We can't match multinational with the type of money they have, but we also can't run away and keep away from the research area. And the fact remains that I think we are growing, maybe not with the same speed. So we will have a mixed model. That's the only way to handle it. As Himadri said rightly, that we will have to have the line extensions. We will have to have green things also simultaneously. There is no one single way of doing and getting right away what you are or what you can do in the future. Only way is to keep your eyes open and apply all the models and look which is the best suited to the Indian scenario. So I think putting the $1 billion for any Indian company just is out of the question. But this is not the cost. I think this cost is at times contested by the people. There are the people who say this is not correct. There are the people who say this is the 1/3 or 1/5 of what they are talking about. But I think I'm not going to go into the discussion what is the correct thing, but the fact is it's an expensive thing. And we will have to develop basically Indian models which should suit us rather than keep on trying to get the models from abroad. That's the only way to handle the whole situation.
I agree with what have been said so far. In addition to that, we also have to remember that when Indian pharma companies are doing R&D at present on most of the classes of drugs which are already existing in the therapeutic armamentarium, the research abroad is on proteomics, genomics and other areas, including genetics. It's not only the question of whether Indian companies would be able to put up large sums for the R&D. It's question whether the total system is geared up for that or not. Because the research abroad is not only limited to the multinationals. There are academic institutions which come out with so many research articles and new procedures. There are so many telehubs or telelabs which help in small researches, and then the idea is taken over by the multinationals or by other companies to develop. There are regulatory authorities who support this kind of research. Do we have this kind of infrastructure? The primary need for us to develop the systems, the infrastructure in India, which would help the Indian companies to develop the research hubs or good research centers.
The only thing that I can add here is that perhaps we should put more emphasis on collaborative research. We have been talking about industry, academia interaction for decades together, but nothing great is happening so far, which is not the case in US or in Western countries. Similarly, industry collaborative research also, the things have begun, but perhaps if we put little more emphasis, it would be very fruitful and the things will be faster. This is a very well established fact that an average Indian scientist is better than an average American scientist or European scientist. But this is the need of the hour, and that's what I think we should do.
I think most global pharmaceutical companies are obsessed with discovery research, and often it comes to my mind that when you talk about aspirin, which is more than 100 years old, or paracetamol, which is more than 90 years old, the way the life cycle management of these molecules have been done is something incredible. Aspirin has become a darling of most cardiologists as a cardiotonic. Tylenol, Johnson & Johnson sells $2 billion worth of Tylenol, which is just nothing but paracetamol. Incredible life cycle management. There is a Tylenol AM and Tylenol PM, as if pain is different in the morning and pain is different in the evening. But some smart cookie has positioned it well. Isabgol, which is imported by Procter & Gamble abroad, and converted into metamycin by formulating into a powder and adding some flavors and citric acid and sodium bicarbonate to give a fizz is a $500 million product. So brand building is also very important. So I don't know whether when we talk about big bucks, the largest selling drug in the world today is Lipitor. It clocked $10.3 billion last year. There are 60 blockbusters in the world which are $1 billion plus. Now when you want to talk about blockbusters or making mega bucks like this, obviously marketing is a very important part and not just the discovery. Look at Viagra, which was discovered, sildenafil was really discovered as an antihypertensive, but some smart marketing guy repositioned it as an erectile dysfunction drug, and the rest is history. And therefore, whether to use DTC, direct to consumer, or internet marketing, or whatever Mr. Gard was saying as an additional service, etc. So I think apart from R&D, the marketing is also going to play a very important role if you want to make blockbuster drugs and make big bucks. Because the big bucks are not in India, they are in places like Europe, Japan and America. So I think, I don't know whether my R&D colleagues here would agree, whether marketing plays a very important role in R&D. Dr. Singh?
I think you are leading the discussion. We should lead it to the floor later on. But since you're asking me this question, I'll make 2 points. I think going back to R&D, I think the academic institutions in India has been ignored. I believe they have a gold mine, but somebody has to mine the gold. That pressure earlier was not there. In the IPA regime, I believe the industry and academia will come together. We've seen how well it has worked in the US and Europe. There are research parks and institutions, university campuses. It's happening in here, the biotechnology parks, the research parks, and more collaboration will bring innovations in the Indian scenario. That is one. B, I think, as you rightly said, marketing and R&D are the 2 big requirements for any successful company. So therefore, as much as you spend money in R&D, to
work jointly, because instead of working only in big metropolis, I would like some of your assistance and some of your expertise, some of your help to reach the real needy people in our state, and we can avoid infant mortality in our country and in our state. Because this has been in the news for the last 4 or 5 days, and I have been seeing that the focus is always with the health department. Unfortunately, a doctor or two in 10,000 doctors may not be present, but then the lashing out is definitely with us. So I feel that the people should not come to the hospital. They should be well nourished. They should be well looked after, and our project, our program should reach these people. This is what I would like to put forth, and I hope some of you would come forward to support this cause. I congratulate the winners. I also thank our friend who's come from Ukraine and Russia, and so many other dignitaries, members of the press. I thank Prakash Joshi for calling and giving me this opportunity to be with you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
On behalf of Pharma Business and Technology, in association with OPPI, IDMA, IP and AICD, I thank all of you for attending the conference. Especially I am thankful to all the speakers who have accepted my invitations to give their valuable times in presenting their topics in the August gatherings. And many congratulations to all the award winners for the remarkable and outstanding performance they have performed in the Indian pharmaceutical industry as well as in the export industry. This mammoth task would not have been possible without the active support and cooperation from my team. I would like to especially mention my partner Dr. Ramesh Pawar and his wife Sonali Pawar for giving me the support, and for the entire team, Mr. S.K. Sahu, Salim, Sandesh, Sunil, all these people who have rendered their valuable support in making this function possible. With this, I conclude this part of the program, and I invite you to join us for cocktails and dinner. Thank you very much.
See, Indian pharmaceutical industry has a big future. All because of the intellectual capital that we have got. I don't know whether you know, 1 out of every 6 scientists in the American pharma industry is an Indian. Given opportunity, they had gone there because there were no opportunities here. Given an opportunity, many of them would like to come here. You have seen many who participated in today's discussion have come from there, and more are likely to come. And we, the Indian companies, are likely to go abroad in search of excellence, in search of growth, because we have what is required for the prescription. We have the prescription, the main ingredients, that is the knowledge. Knowledge and the people, intelligent people. And the very good base has already been created. India will be a big player on the world pharmaceutical stage. And that I can give you in writing even today. Yes, the way we are growing. First, the patent. It's a scare which has been blown up to a great extent. And partly we are responsible for that because we wanted more concessions from WTO. It's not going to happen overnight. First, most of the patented molecules which are in public domain will continue to be in public domain even if they are under patent. Yeah, that everybody knows. Only in the case of molecules which have been registered after 95. And after registration, it takes another 6-7 years to come to the market. So very recent molecules will be hard to find. Total turnover today is 550 billion, which is growing at the rate of 12%. Just imagine, in no time it will become $1,000 billion, 1 trillion. Even if we get even 5% of it, just imagine how much it is. So the world market is going to grow, and because of our strength in technology, manpower, we are going to be a big player in pharma. Up till now, the resources used to be a problem, but now, you know, our companies are doing well, and that money will be plowed back in this.
One thing I'd like to know is, everybody talks about business process outsourcing. How would you put it in medical terms for pharmaceutical industry? It's something called contract research.
It is already happening.
Yes. So what would you say is the future?
Yeah.
Present status and the future?
It is happening in the production because licensing is done by big generic companies in the UK and US and all that. They are getting the products done. My factory in Goa is making for UK, one of the biggest chain. See, they are making this product. Similarly, research also we have started. We are working for 2-3 companies on contract research basis, and the returns are good. That's happening, and that's all because of the, as I again say, intellect, the smart people that we have got, and it comes economical as compared to what they spend there.
As what these
Yes.
What about you? What would you say is the, compared to the international scenario, how would you put India in general terms?
India should aim at generics. We should never aim at NCE sector. You heard today it costs $500 million, $1 billion per product, and it's a highly risky business. At the last moment you go and register, somebody has already registered it, and your entire work, millions and millions, hundreds of millions have gone into drain. And that, to take that, you need muscle, and you need a profit of 10 billion and other 5 billion, 6 billion, which we cannot make in this country because of the prices at which products are sold, because of price control regime, because of the competition, whatever you say. But in the generics and the branded generics, India will be big. And that's a big market, as I told you. About 85% of the pharmaceuticals are in branded generics and generics. They are not all in patents. Yes.
One more question I'd like to ask. Considering globalization and liberalization, a lot of MNCs are coming to India. Although you find in India, MNCs are present, but post-gap,
yes.
How would you look at the scenario where takeovers and mergers will become?
Yeah, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
Very common. So
there will be a lot of
Indian companies of medium, small, large size.
Yes.
How would you? What will be their future?
Yeah. It's not going to be easy. I know that because of harmonization of quality control, QC, QA, and all the quality assurance, everything under pressure from WHO also. They want the entire world to have similar facilities of high quality. And Schedule M is one step that Indian government has already taken. So it's not going to be easy for very small people to do, because it will be very harsh on them, but it can't be helped. To bring their facilities, present facility to WHO standard, they will have to spend crores. And some of these companies are working with 25 lakhs and 50 lakhs turnover. It will not be easy. And that's bound to happen. Thank you. I thank Pharma Business and Technology for having organized such a nice program. Yes. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Strong export company in the competitive market of UK.
No, of course, because this was our dream. We dreamt when we still were students. So we knew that where we are going. And this is the first step towards our bigger goal. And I believe that we are going to achieve our goal in near future. Now, as we have already predicted and as we have already told you in previous interviews, that we expect to be 150 crore company by the year 2005.
Other than UK?
We are already in the other market. We are already, for the last 1.5 years, we are expanding to other market. That's why the plan is already over there. We are working towards that. That is the reason we see that we will get our fruit in the year 2005. Future challenges for us, as you know, our company's name is Genome Biotech. So future challenge is the field of biotech only. And we are already working in that direction. We have got a lot of partners in Europe with whom I'm constantly working out plans how to realize our goals in India. We are already setting up a R&D facility in Sinnar, Nasik, in our factory itself. And we would like to do more and more R&D works in India by getting products from technology and products from Europe. Yes, India is my country. I'm born here. Okay, most of the time when I left India, I was 18 years old. Now I am 44 years old. So most of my time I lived in Europe. But of course, I would like to do something in my country. And we have that plan, what you are saying. And maybe in coming one to 2 years, we will certainly take over some company. Yes, the plan is like that, and I'm determined to do that. R&D plan, basically we are setting up this plan to develop niche product, the product which normal companies are not making. Normally MNCs, which they are in these areas, this kind of products we would like to develop. For that, keeping all this in our mind, we are setting up these R&D plants. No, I still feel as I was. When I left my country, I had $18 in my pocket. So money is not my aim. Money is not my goal. My goal is something else. We want to achieve. We want to do something in the field of healthcare of humankind. So a lot of things are there. A lot of areas are there where we have to explore our strengths, and this is what we are doing now. Almost all therapeutic segments. Almost 40 products are on the line, and each year we are trying to develop 30 to 40 products for the new market.
Could you please tell us briefly about your core team who is working on this product?
This is basically, if you are talking about R&D team, and we've got our Chief Medical Advisor, Mr. Kishore Harbada, and then we have got Mr. Mirchandani, who is based at our R&D facility in Sinnar, Malegaon, and almost 20 scientists are there which are working on the project right now, and we would like to expand this in coming future. This is what I told you just now, that we would like to have introduced niche product to Indian market. Niche product, by niche product I mean that product which is complicated, which not normal companies are making, very few companies are making. There are few competitors, but of course these are this involves a lot of complicated technologies, and we would like to venture in that field.
What is the vision of Vinod Singh, Chairman of Genome? What is the vision of Mr. Vinod Singh?
Service to humankind.
Overnight. What is so specialty about Genome?
Ви работаете ден и ночь. Почему вы считаете, что там специально про геном?
Я считаю, во-первых, я хочу сказать, что женом на Украине присутствует уже 10-й год. Мы скоро в следующем году будем праздновать 10-летний юбилей. Это уже история в истории Украины, в истории, я думаю, и генома. И надо отметить, что за 10 лет фирма Genome, компания Genome приобрела очень большую популярность и очень большим устойчивым авторитетом пользуется в Украине. Сейчас компания развивается на восток, в других странах СНГ. Компания имеет очень большие перспективы. У нас зарегистрировано только в Украине около 120 медицинских препаратов, которые выпускает компания Genome. Это очень большой показатель. Среди практически всех существующих на рынке Украины компаний Genome занимает 3-е место. Это очень высокий результат, и это результат свидетельства упорного труда как людей, которые работают в Индии, так и людей, которые работают в странах СНГ. Это большая заслуга президента компании, господина Винода, который сумел так организовать процесс, организовать работу. Штаб-квартира компании расположена в Киеве. Киев славится своей медициной, своей фармацевтической промышленностью. И надо сказать, что компания Genome не является какой-то антагонистической компанией украинскому производителю, а наоборот, вместе с украинскими производителями компания Genome наполняет рынок Украины и других стран СНГ. У нас прекрасный девиз: высокое качество, высокая эффективность при использовании препаратов компании Genome и доступность. Практически наши препараты компании Genome могут покупать люди любого уровня благосостояния, достатка. Цены позволяют это делать. А раз позволяют, так у нас есть большие потенциальные возможности расширить нашу сеть. Мы работаем напрямую с аптеками, с больницами, с поликлиниками. И нас знают и врачи, и провизоры, и пациенты. Компания воистину пользуется большим доверием именно из-за своего качества и своей доступности.